I'm going to be creating a decorative accent, all you're going to need are some foam balls. I got 2 different sizes from Dollar Tree, and also you're going to need some nautical rope. Now, I buy my nautical rope off of Amazon in a big spool. It's also available at Dollar Tree, so whichever works best for you. I'll put the link to the one I buy in the description box as well. So this is a really easy project to do. You're going to start by hot gluing your foam ball and wrapping your nautical rope around. You're going to do this till you get to the other side. Now it's okay if you leave a little bit of an opening on either side. Now when I did the first one, I realized I probably left a little bit too much of an opening, so I added some additional nautical rope to that one. I'm going to wrap the nautical rope going the other direction, making sure that I cover up that white space that I had on either one. So I'm just gonna wrap until I've covered the entire foam ball, and then I'll cut it off and hot glue it in place. I'm gonna repeat those same steps to create the second smaller foam ball. Now I just created 2, you could do all 5 or however many you want for your project, but they look great as a little accent sitting out in your decor. Okay, so this copper table is definitely new. It's $5. I think it's really cool. I definitely think I could come up with a DIY for this, so I'm gonna grab one of these. When I picked up this copper table, I knew I wanted to make it into a raised table for my coffee table. So I took it out of the packaging to kind of see what I was working with. Now the legs are not attached, but there's 3 pieces on the back that I knew I was gonna have to take care of. So I went outside with my angle grinder to take the pieces off of the copper tray. This was really fun to do and only took me a couple of minutes. I had this piece of scrap wood in my garage, so I just stained it a darker color, and then I'm going to cut it in half so it's a little bit smaller and manageable for a tray. Now to attach the wood block to my tray, I had this wood glue that I wanted to try out, but I was a little worried that it wasn't gonna work well, so I added some E6000 on as well. You could always mix and match glues. I'm gonna place the copper tray in the center, and then I decided I would flip it over and let it sit overnight to completely dry. And here's how I styled it on my coffee table. So these wall art pieces on their website were $450 each. We're gonna put it together for a fraction of that. I found these frames at Hobby Lobby for only $11. They were 40% off and they were the size that I needed them to be. I just needed to update them a little bit. So I picked up 3 of these. I'm gonna tape off the frames, then I'm going to paint the interior, which is already white, but it's not a solid white. I'm gonna use the sample white paint to paint the base white. Now to create a textured gold look to my frames, I'm going to be using some gold rub and buff and add that on with a foam brush. I'm gonna repeat these steps for all 3 of my frames. I picked up some watercolor paper and I kind of cheated and made it in the size that I needed to use for these frames. And then I also grabbed some watercolors off of Amazon. I will link those below if you're interested in them, but I found that Amazon had the best deal. I want to use this wall art at the lake, so I really wanted to use some green and blue colors in my painting. Now there's really no right or wrong way to do this, and in fact I ended up repeating and changing this about 3 times, but the key is to just add in different colors of paint, and also adding in water gives it that nice kind of flowy effect. So I went through and I created 3 different paintings, and I felt like they were just a little too light. I wanted it to be more saturated and I wanted more color. So once they were dry, I went back in and I added in more paint. You can easily do that. I kept kind of the same colors. Like I had one that was blue, I had one that was more neutral and yellows, and then I had one that was green. Now, after I painted them the second time, I liked the colors better, but I wasn't happy with the design. I kind of just did a real basic design. So I went back in a third time and made almost more of like a swirl design, and I liked that so much better. So that's my tip. If you're not happy with something you created, just keep going until you like the way it looks. I added E6000 to the back of my watercolors. So to attach my watercolors to the frames that I had created, I decided that I wanted them to be a little bit off center, and I was going to lay them on their sides just to make it a little bit more different, a little bit more interesting. Now to hold them down flat while they had a chance to dry, I added some books to just have a hard surface so that they could dry overnight. Like I said earlier, I decided to hang them sideways. I added them to my wall, and I just love the way they turned out. Hey guys, I'm Liz and you're watching my second DIY channel where I post daily DIY videos. You may be familiar with my main channel, Liz Fenwick DIY, but I'm glad that you found me over here on my second channel. Make sure that you're subscribed so you just get notified every day when I post our daily DIY video.